started with seeing our favorite landscapes burn a few days before, and then the revolution started after a few events, and there was this feeling of pure euphoria, I think, in the beginning for me. The idea came from really deep with Sharia, and I did the film with Malik Hosni. I would say it's funny, I look at those images, I feel like another person than me made them, but again, and that's part of life, it's still me. But I think what happened, it's the cocktail of emotions. It started with seeing our favorite landscapes burn a few days before, and then the revolution started after a few events, and there was this feeling of pure euphoria, I think, in the beginning for me. This feeling like this utopia that is an unrealistic objective, suddenly those echoes to this idea of utopia, you started feeling them in a very visceral way. And when I was in the revolution, I felt suddenly we went from the individual to the collective, and there was this human synergy that was so, I felt high, you know, it was really, really so powerful. And then, of course, like a year later, or a little bit more, the explosion, the economic collapse, everything that followed, I think that we just felt from really high. And I think that I went back and forth between the confusion of how could we, there was this feeling that was so powerful. We had this illusion, maybe, I don't know, like this feeling like anything we want could be made possible because we were all together. And then later, the pain with everything that happened was so big that I went to a moment of real disillusionment, of real pain, but I never really lost hope that one day, even if that day is much farther than I thought would come. But I think that it was a cocktail of emotions. And when I look at this film, I remember that moment of euphoria, which right now is really dig very, very deep, because the last year has been so painful and difficult. And now with the elections, there's this like energy that's boiling again. And we'll see where it goes. But I think these have to coexist.